Thanks to the support as a channel member, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Well, we've got £20 million to spend, about 20 players to get rid of, and an entire club to rebuild so we can get promoted to the Premier League, or else all our best players are going to want to leave at the end of the season. So we're going to have a lovely time. Although it is starting off with something that you don't see very often, and that is the board have reduced my budget. Because before the budget announcement, and I'm pretty sure I showed it in the last episode as well, we still had this wage budget, but we had £21 million of transfer budget. It's not the end of the world, dropping from 21 to 19, especially when you consider the amount of players we're going to need to sell. But it is, I mean, alarming. We have shed a lot of bank balance since I've been here, and they might not be very happy that Martin Palermo's been moved to the under-21 squad, despite us spending, what, £10 million on him, and him not featuring in a single match. So, yeah, they might be cross with me, but they gave me a new contract, so who cares? Ultimately, we've got a big job on our hands this summer. If we have a look at the first team squad, there are still 35 players into it. We want to get that down to 25. Including new signings. And if we look at the squad planner, there's a very clear weakness in goal defensively, potentially even. You could argue a new goalkeeper, an entire back forward, a new midfield too. So that's 7 signings. So let me do some maths. We've got 35, add 7, that brings us to 42. We want to get down to 25. We need to get rid of at least 17 players from our first team squad. We do have some contracts expiring. So there's 7 of them that are going to be gone just through contracts expiring. The one who I'd be tempted to give a new contract to is Henry Lawrence, but we didn't really use him. We played him in the last couple of matches and he wasn't all that. So I think we probably just let him expire as well. That still means we've got another 10 players that we're going to need to sell. And, I mean, there are some obvious candidates. Somebody like Maxime Perron. I mean, yeah, get out. Just don't bother coming back for pre-season training. Same with you. You know, honestly, I know you're 6'6", and that normally would tempt me. Problem is, you're also rubbish at football, which does balance it out a little bit. Go and play for Bedford. I'd have bitten your arm off at Bedford. Another one. I mean, there's so many of these just rubbish fringe players that we need to get out of the way because some of them are earning a lot of money. I mean, Jim Kitchen, 18.5 grand a week. He's worth £5 million apparently. I mean, if we could get anywhere near £5 million of him, that'd be delightful. He has come through our youth system. He's played nearly 100 games for us. He has been absolutely frozen out since I've been here, though. That's the kind of player that we don't want to be entertaining in our squad. So lots of selling to do. And then once we've done some sales, lots of incoming transfers to do. And we'll see where we are at the end of the window. Obviously, where we want to be is amongst the promotion favourites for next season. Remember, this is a Blackburn team that got relegated from the Premier League last year, has now finished 12th, which obviously isn't good enough. We've got the top scorer in the Championship in Harvey Higgins. A proper window under our belts, we should be winning the league next year. And that's the squad we need to put together over the course of this video. Well, it's the 1st of July and the clear out is well underway. We've sold Aspar to Charlton for 450,000. Fuller, who is one of the ones who wanted to leave because we got relegated from the Premier League, he's gone to Sunderland for £5 million. That was his minimum fee release clause. So that gets one of the grumpy gooses off the books. Another grumpy goose, Abdullah Simic, who I never even used. I don't ever remember him playing. We got £11 million for him from Al Hazem. We spent 4.9 million when we were in the Premier League. He was never really a regular player. So to get £11 million for him is super duper. We've also sold another fringy for 600,000. Lots of players have left on loan or at the ends of contracts or on free transfers. And all of that means that by the 1st of July, we are down to a 23-man first team squad. What a time to be alive, boys and girls. And not only that, we have £31 million to spend. We have signed one player because he was cheap. Where are we? Caleb Okoli. Yes, he's 32 years old now, but at 6'3" and with 3.5 stars of current ability, he comes in as a good Premier League player. who is the best centre-back that we've got at the club. So I think he'll probably do a job for us in the Championship, and maybe, if we do go up this year, might even be able to do one more year in the Premier League. As you can see, he's kind of flirted between the Premier League and the Championship throughout his career, but lots of experience, good in the air, big, tall boy, exactly the kind of defender that we're looking for. And this is what our squad planner looks like with our lovely new 23-man squad. We need a goalkeeper. We also need to sell several of the 6 goalkeepers we already have. We need a left back. Henry Lawrence, we triggered his contract extension because he's useful to have around. But again, there's still lots of fringe players that need to go. We've got several decent right backs, so I think we're good there. Tingy, Okoli, Burns are probably fine as centre backs. I'm not sure about Maycock. I know I brought him in, but I was bargain hunting at the time, and I think I was blinded by him being tall. Doesn't sound like me at all, does it? But I think we might have got a little bit hoodwinked there. Martin Palermo, I think, needs to go out on loan, get some experience, maybe in League One, maybe even to another Championship team who might play him. Maybe Wigan will take him back. In midfield, I think Costello is great, but there's clubs who want him, so we might not be able to keep him. The other midfield spots definitely all up for grabs. And then we know we've got Tyjon and Higgins, and then we've got Harley and McRobbie as backup players. Mbappe's still here as well. Wang's still here as well, but we probably need another body or two in the attack as well. So lots to do. It is the 1st of July, so obviously we can bring in some trialists to see if any trialists are any good. And then we've got how long until the season starts? 12th of August. So it starts a little bit later than we've been used to. Oh, try not to burp. What a monster. But yeah, 5 weeks to put together a squad. At the moment, the media, if we can see the media. How do we get to the media now? Oh, they hid it, didn't they? They moved it as part of the update. At the moment, they think 8th place. I think we've got to be better than 8th place. We don't have anybody in the Dream 11. That's another thing that needs fixing. Let's crack on with some transfers. Well, there's been a couple of weeks past. We didn't get any free transfers in because they were all rubbish, but we've continued to loan out and sell out fringe players and just reduce the number of players we've got at the club. So I've decided to go and buy my new back four. I've treated myself. I promised myself a back four, and now I've got one. So this guy's the first element of it. Antonio Jose Morcillo is I don't know. 21-year-old Spanish right back, a nice attacking, quick right back. My kind of thing. 3 stars of current ability, 4.5 stars of potential. He's a leading Championship player, apparently. He comes in from Granada for 4.5 million. We've also brought in Luka Stojanovic, who's a 22-year-old centre-back who can also play right-back at 5'11". He'll probably play right-back more often than he plays centre-back unless he ends up super-duper awesome. But he's 22, got potential, 3 stars of current ability, 3.5 stars potential. He was at Montpellier previously. Only cost us 1.3 million. He's in as a squad player. Ignore that. That's none of his business. We've also got Lisandro Graf, who is another short centre-back. We're changing the system. We're going short centre-backs. Realistically, we brought him in eventually to become the defensive midfielder. That's my plan for him. He's only 5'10", but he's got 3.5 stars of current ability, 4 stars of potential. Already supposedly a good Premier League player. He comes in from Rennes for £7 million. And I guess we could either use him at centre-back or in that defensive midfield role that I've kind of got him earmarked for. And then we've also brought in a left-back, Mario Lloyd. Needs a surname, but we're working on it. Another nice attacking, quick wing-back. My kind of wing-back. I tell you what, we've put together a perfect squad for a 3-5-2 here. I don't think that's what I'm going to be doing, but why is he unavailable? Oh, because he's not in the training camp squad. That's all right. He's got 3 stars of current ability, potential to improve as well. And then we've also brought in a goalkeeper, Matthew Young, who isn't really anymore. He's 27, quite old, 6'3" though, 2.5 stars of current. I thought he was better than this. 3 stars of potential. He's another goalkeeper who's about equivalent to the other 3 that we've got. I'm just going to go and get Mr. Tickle at this rate. And then we've also signed a replacement attacking midfielder to replace the 2 that we've sold, Ibrahim Rabaj, natural attacking midfield and right midfield, 3 stars of current ability, 4 stars of potential, potential to be a leading Premier League player, apparently. He comes in from Wolves, where he spent the last few years as a fringe player. He's 25, so I hope he's a late developer if he's still got potential to get better. So this is the squad depth situation currently. Once again, after trying so hard to let players go, we've got ourselves to the point where we've got too many players. 29 players in the first team squad again, although there's a few of them that have now gone out on, or one that's gone out on loan, 4 goalkeepers. So there's still stuff we can do to move players out, and we've still got loads of money. I would be happy going into the season with this squad. So everything we do from this point on is going to be based on bringing in players that are much better than what we've already got, who are going to massively improve us. The media think we'll be just outside the playoffs. The board will be happy with us just finishing top half. I think everyone needs to show a little bit more ambition. We want to be in the Premier League this time next year. Well, this is not ideal. Higgins' £33.5 million release clause has been enacted. I guess all we can do is try and throw money at him. Oh my God, we're in the Championship. That's absurd. But you know what? I can live with absurd. That's too absurd. I mean, surely Wrexham aren't giving him 115 grand a week. We're in the Championship. The problem is, I can't even spend this money. There's literally the only players that are going to improve us. I feel like we hit this point in every non-league to legend. I feel like this club is too big for the league that it's in, but the reputation, it doesn't match that. So we've got great players like him who we can't find anyone nearly as good as Higgins. The problem there is anyone who's as good or better than him doesn't want to join us because we're in the Championship. So we've got all this money to spend, but we can't spend big money because the good players don't want to sign for us. And that's why we end up bringing in players like Lloyd, who I'm sure is going to be great, but he's not really any better than what we've got. He might get there, but we're having to kind of sign young players to try and develop. But we're not really in a young player developing phase. The board think we are. The board probably recognise better than me what the situation is. If we lose Higgins, we've got a problem. Although, this reckons Rob Harley's the better striker. The only problem there, of course, is Higgins was the Championship scorer last season. Rob Harley got 0 goals in 19 games for us. So there is something of a difference between the two of them when it comes to who's the best striker. I guess we could play Tyjon up front, potentially. But, he's not exactly got a career flooded in goals. He's done better under me, but that was playing as a shadow striker. Maybe he could move to centre forward and we put Harley in behind him. I can only hope that Higgins signs the contract because he's just as happy to stay. Well, if you're just as happy to stay, stay then. I don't know what we do if he goes. I think we need to emergency instruct. We need a star player striker scouting as a matter of urgency. What a man. I guess I know whose name we're getting on our Blackburn shirt. He's only gone and signed the new contract. That's absurd. That is absolutely ridiculous. I may come to regret that. We've got to get promoted this year, and he's got to be this good in the Premier League. To be fair, he wasn't awful in the Premier League the last time, and obviously he's now older, but this is a Blackburn for life guy now, I guess. £115,000 a week for 5 years. I may have just signed this club's death sentence, but at least we've not got to replace our striker because the best guy that my director of football came back with was a 29-year-old Will Lancashire who doesn't really inspire me with confidence, although to be fair, has a fairly decent goal return of his own. While all that's been going on, my goalkeeper merry-go-round has continued. Anthony Patterson has gone to Bournemouth for £1.2 million, and we've signed Pierce Charles, who's a 29-year-old Northern Irish goalkeeper, 3.5 stars of current ability. So good Premier League keeper, better than anybody that we've currently got. He comes in from, where was he before? Real San Sebastian, former. In fact, no, he was at Sheffield Wednesday, was on loan there. I don't know why he went on loan there. I guess he wanted to leave Sheffield Wednesday. He'd been Sheffield Wednesday's starting keeper for like 10 years. Well, he's now our starting keeper. So that's good. The squad continues to take shape. We've still got so much money. So much money. Well, we've managed to get rid of another goalkeeper. Etienne Green has gone out on loan for the season. Fringy has gone for 2.7 million. Aidan Morris, I actually forgot he existed, but we got some money for him. Finley Burns has gone to Watford. I like him, but at 31, we were probably never going to get a decent offer for him again, so he's moved on. We've also sold one of the backup right backs who we couldn't get registered in the squad, and backup centre back who we couldn't get registered in the squad, which means as it stands on the first day of the season, we've spent 26.5 million, we've brought 20 million in, we've still got 28 million pounds to spend with 3 weeks of the window remaining. And this is what I think our first choice team looks like currently. So new boy Charles in goal, a back four of Mahovo, Tingy, Graf and Hogsberg. So not many of the new defenders. I mean, this is what I mean about we're bringing in players who've got potential, but aren't necessarily currently better than what we've got. Armstrong and Costello in midfield. I'd like another body in there. And then Wang on the left, Tyjon in the middle and Rob Harley on the right with Higgins up front. It's not hugely different from last season's team, it's got to be said. And we've spent £26.5 million. It'll be fine. Right, we've got some new boys in. How do I get to... How do I? I'm so excited. I had to start recording immediately. 3 new signings. Grant Thompson is a striker because we needed another striker on the books. Rob Harley is not a backup striker. His future is in the attacking midfield positions. Grant Thompson got 20 goals for Norwich in the Championship last season, 16 the year before. We've been able to pick him up for £8 million to sit on our bench. Don't tell him, but he is here to sit on the bench. We've also brought in Ian Farrer, who's a 20-year-old left winger who can also play attacking midfield, 3.5 stars of current ability, 5 stars of potential. He comes in from Tottenham, having been on loan at Colchester in League One season before last, and last season he was on loan at Sheffield United in this league. Lots of potential on that boy. And then we've signed the midfielder that we wanted. Ahmed Adamu is a 24-year-old Nigerian defensive midfielder, 3 stars of current ability. We really are struggling to find good central midfielders, but he's got a full season in the Championship with Sheffield Wednesday under his belt, previously played for Hull and Luton at this level. Hopefully at 24 he's now finally going to find a Championship home, because he is moving around a little bit. This is the squad depth as it looks currently. I'm pretty happy with that. And we've still got over £20 million to spend. I'm genuinely, with a week and a bit of the window to go, on the verge of just going and signing Mr. Tickle, who's now available at Wigan for £10 million. And I'm like, I have signed 3 goalkeepers since I've been here, but Mr. Tickle. Well, we've squeezed in a couple more transfers, or 1 in and a couple out. Before the deadline has passed, we brought in a new left back, Matthias Rivad, who's 6'4", can play fullback on either side. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And we brought him in because Alex Cleworth had a decrease in his mental stuff because of off the pitch. We got an email, so I just sold him rather than having any issues at the club. Henry Lawrence has gone to Millwall for 2 million as well, which is a fantastic piece of business, by the way. He was out of contract in the summer. We triggered his contract extension, then sold him for £2 million. That's business, boys and girls. Lovely stuff. We've also sent Martin Palermo out on loan to Wickham for the season. Rowan Maycock, who we signed for £1 million and didn't really use, we've sold to Portsmouth for 3.9 million. All of which means after quite a busy summer, I mean, we've spent £45 million, we've brought 27 million in, and we've still got 14 million to spend and loads of spare wage budget. The transfer window's now closed, but I think we've had a very, very productive rebuild job. The best 11 might not look drastically different to how it did before. I mean, you've only really got the new keeper, new left back, new centre back. Rob Harley's forced his way in to the starting 11 because we've sold players, but otherwise it's a very similar starting 11 to last year. But the key thing is the senior squad is now only 26 players, so we don't have that 50-player first team squad that we had when I arrived, and the depth that we've got is much, much better than we had before. If we order this by ability, the worst player we've got now is 2.5 stars of current ability. So we've definitely upgraded the strength in depth hugely, and we've had a really encouraging start to the season as well. We beat Swansea, we've beat Morecambe in the Carabao Cup, we drew with Coventry, we then beat Birmingham and smashed Hull in the Carabao Cup, and now we play Hull again in the league, and hopefully we'll smash them again because Hull are top of the league. They've got 3 wins from 3 start to the season, and we've just beaten them 4-0 in the Carabao Cup. So if we can beat them again, we could end the episode tomorrow top of the league, and then we get to play Manchester City in the Carabao Cup to see if we're Premier League quality yet. We're probably not, but it's going to be a fun episode all the same. I didn't expect to still have all that money left over. This is 2 windows in a row now with Blackburn where we've had loads of money left at the end of the window. When we eventually do get this team to the Premier League, I think we might be able to financially compete, which is fairly unusual for a team I get to the Premier League with. This is definitely a team that are ready to be there. Newly relegated Premier League teams. It's the future. I don't know that we've ever done one in non-league to legend before, but I'm having a lovely time with it. And if you've enjoyed that video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.